1,848.
At one point, we called Jerry Rice Flash. How about the dash we saw here today? The dash towards his record and past it. What a tremendous achievement. And how much fun is it for us to be here to witness it?
It's a pinch-me moment for us. Into the red zone now. Manning over the middle. He's got his tight end Ingram. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Give him 9 there on the first down completion.
We didn't need to ask around the league, but we got to confirm this guy's a good player. They've got to find a way to get him more involved, call a few more plays that target him.
Absolutely, because here we are toward the end of the first half, and that's the first target, not just the first catch, first target. Throwing is Manning. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And he will take it on in for a giant touchdown. Orleans Darkwa with touchdown number 2 in the game and now 11 on the year. And the Giants are able to grow their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
Boy, I guess they're going to keep trying to put the pedal to the metal here. They're going to try an onside kick. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Rosas now to kick this one away. It's a short kick, taking it to 15. And they'll be set up pretty nicely here as they have it up to the 35-yard line. We remind you that coming up later tonight, this is going to be a good one. The Cowboys and the Raiders going at it in the East Bay.
Oh, that's old school right there.
Old school indeed. Then Monday night, another good late-season matchup. The Falcons and the Buccaneers from Tampa to wrap up Week 15. Going underneath to Blount. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go before halftime. They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. Now the Eagles will use the second of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this first half. Play fake to Blount. Now it's Wentz. Oh, you saw that one coming. It's intercepted. Thrown back across his body. Picked off at the 49. And his guys are going to take over at their own 48-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week. 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away. And that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
So after the INT, it's Manning. Over the middle to Beckham. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And he goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Well, there's your leading receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage, putting on another clinic, well over 100 yards.
Are we taking notes? We should be, right? Because I'm going to go back and watch this tape and really enjoy what I'm seeing. The route running, competing for the football, just breaking down a defense.
And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. This is fielded a couple yards deep. Gets around him. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Odell Beckham now marching back onto the field. A monster game so far, third quarter. He is lighting up the stat sheet.
And so many times when you see these types of games, you hear about the quarterback, or we talk about the quarterback throwing guys open, putting it in the right spot. How about some credit for the receivers,
Absolutely.
though, who find ways to get open, whether they uncover late in a route or they get open early, but they just always find a way. And he's having that type of a game.
Yeah, he's been nearly impossible to cover. Manning going for the deep ball. It's caught inside the 25. And he finally goes down at the 23-yard line.
Eli to OBJ. What a combo. And really, how do you defend them when they're on their game?
Absolutely, and they're on their game in this one. That's really what this offense is predicated on, isn't it?
It really is. It's explosive plays, and it doesn't matter whether Eli throws it 3 yards or 30 yards.
Looking for his receiver, sharp, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 14, and he'll bring this one back to the 29. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
They'll begin here with Blunt. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
I'd say they've got to find a way to get him going. He's such a big part of their offense. I wonder if they might throw it a little and come back to the run.
Anything, because you're right. He's pretty much been completely neutralized. Now Wentz throwing on 2nd down. And his throw is incomplete. Torrey Smith, the intended receiver. And it'll bring up 3rd down.
There's so much precision in an offense, especially when you're throwing the ball. And in an out route, plenty of it. How about the quarterback hitting his back foot, ball's out of his hands, receiver making his break, making his cut. He's got to time up perfectly. Not always easy to do.
Just let him a little too much.
Yeah, I remember back in the good old days, I was talking to a quarterback, and he said everything they did was on the count system. So when he took a snap, he counted in his head for certain routes, different time frames for each one, and he knew if the ball wasn't out of his hand at that point, he'd better eat it because the play was dead.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
All right, Brandon, you know me as well as anyone. You know I don't usually advocate abandoning things during a game, but here we are in the second half. I think it's time to change things up. Let the running game go a little bit. Let's get to the passing game, and if you still want to get in the hands of the runner, maybe you swing it to him, throw it to him a little bit, try it that way. It's real easy to say this running game needs to be better, but the reality is they've been given little time to actually...
Back now here at MetLife Stadium. It's the Eagles behind on the scoreboard, but with the football here as we start the 4th quarter. On 3rd and long, it's Wentz. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. Dalvin Tomlinson in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
Give them 27 yards that time. And the Eagles are going to have a 1st down. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score. Wentz now on 1st down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Nelson Aguilar, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down.
Let's face it, you can run the route tree as many times as you want, get in sync, practice it, do all those things. But once you get to game speed, it doesn't always time up quite that well. That one goes incomplete.
Back to the air on 2nd down. Wentz. And he can't hang on. That's definitely going to be one he wishes he had back. Incomplete in the end zone.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, fourth quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. They fake the give. Now Wentz. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Jason Pierre-Paul in there to drop him as the clock continues to roll. To throw is Wentz. And that is incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And the Giants are going to get the football back. Well, they had to take one final shot at the end zone, but now things are looking really bleak.
And I agree with that totally. You had to take the shot if they did score. You know, whether you call it a miracle or not, you line up, onside kick, get the ball back, throw one more in the end zone, who knows? Had to take the chance, it just was unsuccessful.
Manning looking to throw it. He'll let it go deep for Beckham. So they took a shot on first down, but couldn't connect.
Well, the obvious goal is to try and score a touchdown, but at the least, adding to a pretty big yardage total for his intended receiver there, huh?
Yeah, well, when you got a guy over 150 yards, keep chucking it deep to him, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You can get it to him short, and he can make plays that way, but I like what you just said. Throw it to him deep and get it in a big chunk.
But incomplete. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Odell Beckham. Touchdown number 22 on the season. And the Giants add on to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is it bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
So they're going to go for two. They'll try and run it up the middle. And he will get into the end zone to extend the lead by two more. And they're able to ground it in there on the two-point try. And you and I were talking before the game that two-point conversions from the 15-16 season, what has changed, what hasn't changed, partner?
Yeah, I'll tell you what's changed is just your normal strategy, because now you're either kicking the football with the ball on the 15-yard line, or if you decide to go for two, they put it on the 2-yard line. So what are you thinking as a coach? Do I risk it? Do I go for it here? Do I try and gain a strategic advantage and maybe go for two early? That's what people are wondering about.
And out come the Eagles. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. From midfield, here's Wentz. And seeing nowhere to throw, he chucks this one away from harm. Incomplete. Now it's 3rd down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden the secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in this football game. On first down, Wentz. The connection here with Nelson Aguilar. Another nice gain, 13 yards that time, and another first down. That's just his second catch of the game. They wanted to keep him silent. They have kept him silent.
Defensive football 101. Don't let the best player on offense beat you. Take him out of the game, and they've done a great job of doing that.
Here's Wentz to throw. Ertz over the middle. Open space inside the 10. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game. Again, it's Wentz. This will be caught at about the 6. The Eagles will take their third and final timeout, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds left to play. Wentz to throw again. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock.
Boy, you will not see a quarterback of his caliber miss on one like that very often. I mean, there it is, wide open, got the shot, and he misfires.
We talked about, boy, he'll want that one back all the time. He definitely wants that one back. And that's going to be caught for an Eagles touchdown. Zach Ertz, his second touchdown on the season. And the Eagles get a score closer.
I'm not sure win-win is the proper term here, but it certainly felt like it. They got the touchdown they needed, but if I'm on the defensive side of the ball, okay, you got the touchdown, but it sure took you a long time.
Yeah, because offensively there, you're probably hoping for a 1 to 5 play drive. That one ate up a little more time than they were hoping.
You're exactly right, and if you have that 1 to 5 play drive, you actually build up momentum and even more hope. When they had to slog their way downfield, they got the touchdown, but it's almost like, yeah, you know,
doesn't feel right.
Exactly.
They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Manning going to throw here. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes, carving them up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. Elsewhere in the NFL, they're in the 4th down in New Orleans. And it was the Saints that wound up winners in that.